From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
Cascade Paint and Supply is Reading's oldest family-owned paint store, established in 1953. We are the largest Dunn-Edwards dealer in the nation, and most of our products are made in the U.S. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff are ready to answer your questions and help you today.
Good afternoon, everybody. Here we are on Wednesday. It looks like another kind of a not so hot afternoon. Maybe you're heading out to lunch. The lunch on the patio may be a little hot in the valley, but boy, often some of the higher elevations might be a bit of a different story. We do have less thunderstorm activity in the forecast. That being said, when we look at futurecasts, you'll see what I'm talking about. We could be looking at maybe some thunderstorm activity here by tomorrow. We'll get into that a little bit later, but cooler temperatures this week, and it's great going into the weekend, and not to mention next week, no major heat waves are in sight. So it looks like some good news there. The smoke, we're continuing to see mainly from the Six Rivers complex here. This is kind of what we see as these plumes of smoke. They push down to the south and east in the evening, and then they push a little bit to the south. But the overall area where the fire is, of course, that's where the fire is. It's this general area right here that tends to see the most smoke. Otherwise, we're just not seeing much making its way off into the valley or really even some of the surrounding foothills and mountains either. Now for the rest of the day today, it's warming up. We're getting warmer, right? We're back in the mid-90s for those daytime highs today, but it's still below 100 degrees, and the normal high is upper 90s, so we're still slightly below normal. There you can see, much more mild here for the higher elevations, and I think we're going to see clouds develop this afternoon, but not much in the way of rain, if any, at all. Now, we're really not seeing any lifting mechanisms, anything to really help to spark up those thunderstorms, but that may change tomorrow. Let's take a look at futurecasts. You'll see what I'm talking about. Of course, today, you see those clouds developing in the mountains, but no rain. Sunny skies here for the valley. No big surprises here. But this is where I'm not too happy reporting this. As you can see, we've got some thunderstorms possibly developing in Trinity County, and not to mention eventually making its way northwestward off into Del Norte County, which is around where the Six Rivers complex is. But we're also seeing some activity here to the east as well that we got to keep our eyes on. You'll notice Siskiyou County, really not getting part of that, although I'm still including a chance for Siskiyou to maybe see some activity here. And then as we go into midnight, so Thursday night, Friday morning, now most of the activity looks to be off to the east here with the potential for thunderstorms overnight. But by Friday, looks like that's all pretty much done with. And looking at the long range, I'm not seeing anything that is even remotely close to being rain or even thunderstorms here after Thursday. We're looking at Thursday of next week now, and from that point, we're just not seeing anything developing here in the long range. Now, another thing to kind of monitor here is the heat. Now, we can see there's been quite a heat wave. You may have been hearing about it, quite a heat wave here earlier this week in the central United States. But what's kind of on the flip side of that is we haven't been dealing with the heat. We've been dealing with cooler than normal temperatures. And this is a trend that we've seen here this summer, is we get these pockets of cooler air off to our north, northwest, and those are strong enough typically to keep the heat over here, and which is typically over the desert southwest, by the way, from building into our region. Now, it's been allowing that to happen at times, and that's why we've seen some of those small heat waves. But there you can see, look at this, is through this weekend. We take you into next week. As long as this pocket of cooler air is in this general vicinity, it's going to prevent this heat, even though it's building back over the desert southwest. It's not going to really build very strong into our region, and as a result, no major heat waves. And here's what it looks like. It's kind of a flat line forecast. The normal high is about 97 in Reading. We'll probably be just below that as we go through next week, and most likely even into that next weekend. So this is the overall trend for all of Northern California. No major heat waves are in the forecast. All right, so here's what it looks like today. You've got temperatures, it's warming up a little bit. Low to mid-90s for the valley and for the mountains in the 80s, but no rain, no thunderstorms today. So certainly good news. And by the way, yesterday just didn't see much activity either, so that was certainly nice as well. But I have included even from Mount Shasta, but quite honestly, I think Siskiyou County could break away from this without seeing a drop or even a thunderstorm. But I'm keeping that chance in there because we have to be on the lookout for that. Alturas, Susanville, you have better chances there, especially as we go into the overnight hours Thursday into Friday morning. Your 7-day outlook for the valley, we're seeing a little bit of a spike on Thursday with those temperatures, but then they kind of level off again, back down in the low to mid 90s. Now, that's not only the case here through the weekend, but that's going to stick around into Monday and Tuesday of next week.